Welcome back to the Tune Warning. Today I'm looking at Richard Sherman and going over the best landing spots that I think fits him while he's still out there in free agency. But before getting to that topic, just an easy question for those of you viewing. Where do you think Richard Sherman should go? But getting straight into it, the two obvious ones that I'm just going to get out of the way because everyone's going to say them is, of course, the reunion with either the San Francisco 49ers or the Seattle Seahawks. Just makes perfect sense. Perfect comeback story, perfect reunion. Call it what you want. 49ers. They have a great defense already. Nick Bosa, Reek Armstead, Fred Warner. Last time Sherman was healthy, Jimmy G was healthy. Last time that whole squad was healthy and together, they went to a Super Bowl. So obviously, him already playing there in their last showdown, it went pretty successful for the most part. That's obviously a contender. Seattle Seahawks, same thing. He's not going to be the same guy he was there when he was in his prime. And when he was there, he was the #1 corner in the league. But still, it'd be cool to see him reunite with Russell Wilson. I think that's a big attraction point because it's still a competitive team that he would be going to. But moving on to some of the less obvious ones. Another team in the NFC West, the Arizona Cardinals. You know, he's been to the Seahawks. He's been to the Niners. Why not make one more stop in the NFC West and hit up the Arizona Cardinals? Some veterans have already started going there. J.J. Watt. They have Chandler Jones. The pass rush is set. The linebacker core is pretty good for the most part. You added Zavon Collins. You have Isaiah Simmons. And now in the secondary, Richard Sherman could fit in well. They lost Patrick Peterson, and they might be looking for a veteran to take his spot. I think Pat Pete is still a top 10 corner, give or take. Richard Sherman, he fell out of that, in my opinion. Just he's too high up there in age. But they could use a veteran replacement like Patrick Peterson. They already attempted it with Malcolm Butler, but still, I don't think that's enough. I think Richard Sherman on a team with some good veteran guys, Malcolm Butler, J.J. Watt, and some young guys to help out as well, Budda Baker, Isaiah Simmons, Chandler Jones, this would be a great spot for Richard Sherman. He doesn't have to go in there and be the #1 corner. They're not going to ask him to be what he used to be of just completely taking wide receivers out of the game. But still, it's a team that has enough talent where the entire defense is not on his shoulders. And it's got an offense that can control the pace of the game between Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, A.J. Green. This is a good team that I think Richard Sherman should at least consider because I don't think he's going to be considering any team that's not a competitor. I don't think he wants to go to a Philadelphia Eagles where he just has no chance of making a deep postseason run, getting a Super Bowl ring, no recognition. I just think he's not going to be considering a team that's not a competitor. Not saying the Cardinals are a Super Bowl competitor, but still, they're a good competitive team. Another one, the Buffalo Bills. Similar situation. Bills, they're a bigger upgrade from the Arizona Cardinals because they are Super Bowl ready. They're in the AFC Championship last year, and this is another defense where he has a shot at contending, but he doesn't have to be the #1 guy. You know, in that secondary, they already have a great duo between Micah Hyde and Tre'Davious White. Richard Sherman could go in there right well and fit pretty good. I mean, they had Josh Norman last year, a guy his name was bigger than his talent at the point in time. Then he left, or now he's left the Bills, and Richard Sherman could do the same thing. You know, his name is bigger than his talent at this point in his career, but he could still provide value and be a guy in that depth chart that just brings mentorship. And like I said, he's not alone. Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, Tremaine Edmonds, Ed Oliver, Jerry Hughes, they drafted Gregory Rousseau. He's not going to go in there and have to carry the defense. This is a competitive team that could just use the mentorship of a veteran player that has great skill, has Hall of Fame knowledge, has Super Bowl talent, experience. Just a guy that would really be a cherry on top to a defense that's maybe one player away. Another one, this is kind of a turn of things, but the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, this is a team he probably wouldn't be competing for a Super Bowl, but he could still be competing for a playoff run. But the perk of coming and playing for Dallas is being one of the faces of the NFL. I mean, it's America's team. He's going to get his starlight. He might get a decent amount of money. I mean, when Dallas is known for overpaying guys, I mean, they're overpaying Amari Cooper, overpaying Ezekiel, overpaying Dak Prescott, overpaying Jalen Smith and Marcus Lawrence. Richard Sherman, not saying Dallas has still made of money. They're running out of salary cap eventually, but Richard Sherman could be, I don't want to say the face of the team, but a Dallas defense that's kind of desperate for someone. Maybe Richard Sherman says, screw it, I do think I'm still a #1 corner in the NFL. Maybe he wants to go on a team that doesn't have a #1 corner and he wants to prove everyone wrong and just shut down guys. Who knows? I just think Dallas is an intriguing team that could use some defensive help, but we don't know. Another one, LA Chargers. This is a weird one because I don't think they're looking for a corner, but they're a team that has so much youth on this team. A guy like Richard Sherman who can just provide knowledge, mentorship, experience, and just help out these younger guys. Chargers, they have a great young team, Joey Bosa, and then in the up front, and then Kenneth Murray at the linebacker position, Jerry Tillery. But in the secondary, there's some really young guys. Derwin James only 3 years in. Asante Samuel Jr. is going to be a rookie corner. Michael Davis and Chris Harris Jr. are up there in age, yes, but I just think Richard Sherman would be the perfect blend for this Chargers secondary. That it's not like lacking a corner, but it could definitely use a help. I think Asante Samuel Jr. will fit them well, but first year, if Asante Samuel Jr. doesn't have to be the #1 corner right away, and him and Richard Sherman can kind of split it, I think that would help the rookie develop a lot. So I think the Chargers, if they could get him on a really cheap deal, they could consider it. But again, he's not going to take this Chargers team to a Super Bowl, but it would just be a cherry on top, to help Asante Samuel Jr. kind of transition in. And I think the Chargers, they can be a playoff team, similar to Dallas. I don't know if they're going to go run onto a Super Bowl in 2022, but I got them, I think, making the playoffs for sure. And once you're in the playoffs, who am I to say they want to make a Super Bowl? If you make it that far, you could go even further. So Richard Sherman, again, a competitive team that he could just help out these younger guys. And the final one, I don't think this will happen by any means in any ways, but if Richard Sherman wants that ring, take a veteran minimum. They don't have any more money, and go play for the GOAT, Tom Brady. I'm a Bucs fan, and I'm not like asking the Bucs to get him. I don't think we need him, but I'm not going to argue against it if it happens. And if Richard Sherman just wants one more ring to add to a Hall of Fame type of career, his Hall of Fame resume, just to add to his career, I'm not saying Tampa's just an automatic back-to-back and they're guaranteed a ring this year, but if he wants his absolute best shot at a ring, go to a team where he is not needed to be the #1 corner, #2 corner. He's just a guy that's going to help fight for a ring. That Bucs team, spotless. They brought everyone back. Shaq Barrett, Chris Godwin, JPP wasn't a free agent, but Shaq Barrett, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, and then they added more, Giovanni Bernard. Maybe they're going to add even more with Richard Sherman again. Bucs don't need him. I don't know if they have an even extra penny to spend at this point, but Richard Sherman's willing to take the veteran minimum and he wants to play for the GOAT one time and wants to get a Super Bowl ring, Tampa Bay, I think, would give him the best shot. But again, I'm not sure Richard Sherman's like that. I don't think them two are even talking by any means. I just think it'd be a cool one to possibly see them match up and unite if Richard Sherman desperately wants one more ring. But of course, like I said, guys, there's plenty of options for Sherman. Going over the list one last time really quick. There's the obvious reunions of the Seahawks and the Niners, and then some contenders, Bills, Cardinals, Chargers, Bucs, and then if he wants to be, the face of his secondary, Dallas Cowboys. But wherever Richard Sherman goes, I wish him the best. But as always, guys, question of the day, where do you think he will go? I really want to hear your opinions. Truly appreciate you watching, guys. If you don't mind, drop a like and comment down below. It really helps me out. And as always, of course, 2-minute warning.